Whoa, look at those dudes hanging out,
Yep, couple of cuties.
arm over
Uh,
shoulder.
exactly right. What was it? Holy shit, it's Nick Woos. We haven't done that in a while. Hey, Nick Woos. Holy shit, it's Nick Woos. We are on episode 103.
Wow.
Yeah, so before we introduce our guest today, I wanted to give you some trivia, Nick. Are you ready
Oh
for
shit,
this?
I got trivia for you too.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
weekly
Okay,
trivia, dude.
I kind of like the trivia. So, how many episodes have we done this year?
That's total guess. Like 20,
No, man.
15.
Yeah, close. 13. 13 episodes this year because we took a good amount of time off there over the summer.
Yeah, we did.
So,
Cool.
um,
That's good trivia.
here next one. How many, including today, how many episodes have you done with I Hate Music?
Including today, so 13 this year, probably about 25.
38.
Oh my god.
Yeah, your first episode is
There's just so much
64.
fun that I don't remember all of them,
It's just time flies. Yeah. Is your trivia for me now or is it later?
However you want to do it, dude. I mean,
Let's save it for later. How's that?
cool. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get through the crap that we always have to do. This time I'm not going to yell or get sad about Patreon.
Good.
I'm just going to say, hey, if you feel like it, help support the cause, help Nick buy some cassettes, help me buy some readers
Yeah.
or some microphones, things like that. We do have a Patreon. It is patreon.com/I Hate Music Podcast. We had one new subscriber since I got all sad last episode.
So the guild didn't really work.
The anger worked better than the guilt.
Nice.
Yeah. So we have a new Patreon member. His name is Ian. Do you know Ian?
I don't think so.
No, I don't either. His name is like Ian Van Lerope, something like that.
Oh, nice.
I apologize for slaughtering the pronunciation, but based on his name, I feel like that he's an avid reader. He probably collects cookbooks, but doesn't cook much. He just likes to read them.
Wow. There are the people
I
that
also,
do that?
well, I do that. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
use them, dude?
No, and before I went vegan, I bought all these cookbooks, and now they don't apply. So it's like I don't know.
You can only use like
It's
2 recipes out of the whole thing.
yeah, but I like the Momofuku cookbook is really cool. I bought this cookbook in Australia with all these like crazy indigenous recipes, and it's cool to learn about the culture through food,
Sure.
even if I don't eat it.
Although
So-
one of my gripes is like when you're looking up a recipe online, I don't really want to hear your life story. I just want the recipe. Fucking skip all that shit, get right to the recipe.
Oh, see, I'm
If
the
you end up
opposite.
doing that, I don't want to hear your grandma's story, unfortunately.
I'm the opposite. Like I listen to Mark Maron for the intros, not the actual interview part.
Yeah, the interviews. That's
Yeah,
the boring
yeah.
part.
No, that's the worst part. But yeah, I feel like Ian's probably a good guy. He's probably been through some hard stuff in his life.
Sure.
But yeah, I really appreciate his membership with Patreon.
And Ian, I'm so sorry for your loss of your grandma and the cat that you lost last year.
Yeah, that was traumatic and awful, but I think you're probably bouncing back at this point.
Yeah, he should be.
Yeah.
Good.
Uh,
He's good. He's doing Patreon for our podcast, maybe others.
yeah, exactly.
Life's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So again, thank you, Ian. That's all for Patreon at the moment. But guys, please subscribe. Nick needs more cassettes.
Look at that. I'm running out
I
of
mean,
room.
look, his wall is getting kind of bleak back there.
Yeah, it is.
We also have the Earth and Sound store, of course. Dolvin merch, Moonbladder merch, Cross Paths. I'm looking at my stuff here. I've got my solo 7-inch that everybody's been sleeping on for the last 10 years. I've got CDs from Paul Masvidal. I've got Moonbladder Masvidal tour shirts that people aren't buying. A lot of cool stuff. We are almost out of all the I Hate Music shirts and hoodies. So I think we have like one Ramones design left and maybe one Napalm Death design left.
Nice.
Or maybe 2. So anyway, get on those if you feel like it. And as always, send us some emails at hate.pod.music@gmail.com. Help us fill the episode with content that you thought of, not us. That helps us out a lot. But before we go too much further, I would like to introduce our guest today. This is my good friend, Sarah Woods. How are you doing, Sarah?
I'm doing good. my cat ignored me all day, and now that I'm busy doing something, she's like, "All right, let's go. Lap
Yeah.
time now."
Awesome.
That's great. That's how
Yeah,
they are
thanks
sometimes.
for having me on. This is so fun.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Most of the time when we have a guest, it's someone who is known for their music, and I thought it'd be really cool to get you on here because you've been doing some really cool stuff with your with engineering and front of house and all that, and you've been Agalloch's main front of house for quite a few shows now. Um, and we've become good friends ever since. And I thought you'd be the perfect person to have on. And you got to hang out with Nick at Dungeon Siege
Yep.
over the summer, and
Yes, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was. Man,
That was a really good festival. Like
so surprised you were
exceptionally
there.
good.
It's really cool. They hired you. I mean, we can talk about that in the interview, but yeah,
Yeah.
how you got into that. That's really cool.
yeah. Don't you know somebody that runs the festival, Sarah?
Yeah, so there's this whole network all throughout the world really, but in the US there's like a Northeast Dungeon Siege and a Northwest Dungeon Siege and a like a Texas Dungeon Siege. So there's all of these people who are so into dungeon synth, and it's all of these like kind of grassroots things where everything's kind of, well, not everything, a lot of it comes out of their pockets, but there's some crowdfunding. There's a lot of hard work that goes into putting those festivals on. And Dungeon Siege West, where we hung out, that was the best one I've been to. Uh, I've worked two Northeast Dungeon Sieges. They had me on the audio, and I got to meet Aslak from Nest.
Ozlak.
That was
Yeah, yeah.
amazing. I mean, never in my life did I think I'd get to meet that guy in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, with those sorts of things, it takes a village. And for Dungeon Siege West, the village was one person. Her name was Tirith, and she worked so hard to put on this unforgettable festival. And I think she's stepping away from it right now just because it's a thankless job. And unfortunately you see it all the time in this industry. There's people who are so into the music and into the production, and they put so much into it, and then it ends up kind of just eating them alive because you know the countless hours of unpaid labor is very draining. It's a passion killer. It can be a passion
yeah.
killer.
Yeah, at that particular event, she was obviously working a lot and pretty hard. She was organizing parking. She was telling people where to camp. She was just doing everything. It was insane. So you could tell that that wouldn't last, if you're gonna do that full time like that.
Yeah. It's hard. I used to manage a festival on the same grounds with a small team of people, and that was definitely a passion killer for me.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's,
Yeah. So I think she stepped down for 2026, but a couple people are starting to reorganize, and they're gonna name it something different stuff. But it's supposed to be in September, so I think it's happening,
oh, cool.
which is good.
Cool. All right. Let's move on to our listener emails real quick. Quick note though, our last episode, episode 102, we had the same thing happen that happened with 101. It got banned worldwide, removed from all streaming platforms due to copyright infringement.
Oh,
Those of you that weren't privy to what happened with episode 100 and 101, our host, I guess, I'm not really sure exactly the issue, is basically removing the podcast from all streaming platforms because we played a couple of metal songs. We're on episode 103. We have at least 90 some episodes with copyrighted music on it. Never been an issue before.
yeah.
Now it is. So I've been talking with a couple of different people about solutions, ways to move forward. we will be moving hosts, I do believe, in the future. For now, I am not going to play any music for this episode, just to avoid those issues. But in the future, hopefully I can figure out a way around that with a new host. So, yeah, but the same thing happened. I got an email in. Actually, this one happened before it was even launched. And for Romanian death metal bands getting us canceled, basically.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's so insane.
Yeah. Removed from Spotify in Germany, Japan, United Kingdom, Ireland, France, Canada, and United States. And this is before it was even launched. Removed from Apple Music, removed from everything. Kosovo. Your content is not available in Kosovo.
Damn it.
So, yeah. So anyway, we'll be moving hosts most likely, and refraining from music for the time being, because then I have to go and I have to edit all the music out, upload a new version. Now there's 2 versions. It's messy.
Do you think it's a host thing, or do you think it's all podcast hosts are going to start doing this?
It's unclear to me. I've talked to Radical Research. They never have this issue. They stream on the same platforms. They play much more music than we do, but they've never once had the issue. Requiem Metal Podcast has started having the issue recently, but I'm not sure what hosts they have. So I think it's kind of what I told you, Nick, recently. I think it's kind of born from a good place. They're trying to make sure that people are getting compensated properly for their copyrighted works, and I think that we are just kind of an unfortunate casualty in that.
Do you think at some point they'll start counting podcasts that have a song in it as a listen? Because that's pretty much what it is, right? Because you go to Spotify and you could, listen to any streaming music, but you go to a podcast and you can't hear that song on the podcast. So maybe if they count that as a listen or whatever, maybe it'll work that way.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. But yeah,
pretty lame.
I don't know. So to be continued on that for sure. We got an email, a pretty long email from our friend Dallas. I'm not going to read the whole thing because there's a lot of points here that he has. But basically, he wanted to congratulate me and you, to a lesser extent, on our love of, just because I went off on it last episode about our love of Def Leppard.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned my Def Leppard underwear that I used to have.
Yeah.
And I can't remember exactly what I said, but Def Leppard were definitely a life-changing band for me. Dallas mimics that or echoes that. Oh man, this is just too long. I'm sorry, Dallas. I can't read all this. He says, fuck Spotify. He said, fuck Live Nation because of the Emperor shows, this shit that we had to deal with there. He said the Buckethead is unlistenable.
Careful, dude. You got a Romaniac that'll come after you.
I know. He says, let's see. He is wanting us to be aware of ulcerate. He describes them as being hate eternal, covering the entirety of the mantle.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. Let's see. He says, you couldn't pay him enough to watch a video podcast. So that's good to know.
A lot of opinions, this guy. It's great.
Yep. He says that he's pretty festivaled out after working them for so long. He says the book on immolation was amazing.
Nice. Okay.
And he says that he's kind of getting sick of the extreme metal literature that we were talking about last time.
Started on the death book, and so far it's written better than the obituary one, which is the same author, so that's good.
Yeah, it's the same guy. Well, he got his feet wet, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. So that's good.
But yeah, Dallas says he says that Richie Ramone. He says, did Richie Ramone really need to put a book out? I think Dee Dee's book is one of the best out there. Agreed, but which Dee Dee book you're talking about? I own like maybe 15 Dee Dee books.
He wrote that many? What was he writing?
Well, his are crazy. Like the one I have, last one I read, I think I have it right here somewhere. I can't remember what it's called, but it's totally fictitious. You start reading it and it's like, oh, this is, normal, like tour diary, Ramones touring in Germany. And then he talks about getting like pulled over by the police and then like grabbing one of them and shooting him in the head and like burying the body on the side of the road and stuff. Like just like weird fever dream type shit. I do own the Richie Ramone book. I've owned it for a few years and I have not read it, so maybe Dallas is onto something. But I probably have about 20 to 30 Ramones books anyway. I think that's plenty. Yeah. He sends me another email, and then he says, Steve Clark from Def Leppard is his favorite guitarist of all time.
Nice.
And he says, fuck everyone that pretends to be too cool for Pyromania and the ultimate album, Hysteria. I will literally fight in a parking lot over the fact that Hysteria is the greatest album ever.
Nice.
Yeah. So, Sarah, I'm going to take a wild guess and say that you are a Def Leppard fan as well.
Oh yeah, I just saw them for the first time a couple months ago. Yeah, it was unbelievable. They played all the hits, and I mean, with Def Leppard, I mean, you can have a 90-minute set and have it be all hits.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah. I only saw them once, and this is definitely going to date myself, but nobody is going to be surprised at how old I am. But I saw them on the Hysteria tour.
Nice.
And totally changed my life. I can't really say I'm too much of a Hysteria fan these days, but that show, it was absolutely insane. It was Def Leppard and Tesla, I think. But yeah, I was like 13 maybe.
Nice.
Something like that. It was like late 80s. But man, yeah. Love that band for sure. So thank you, Dallas, for that. We have one more email before we move on. This is from our good friend Kyle Kraus. You may remember him.
Kyle. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, aren't we supposed to drink for the Kyles? I think
we drink.
like that? Yeah.
We have a lot of Kyle fans.
Mm-hmm. Kyle says, "Hey guys, I really enjoyed the soundtrack discussion. So here's a small list of some of my favorites from my collection. Maybe you or the listeners will find something new to check out. I'm mostly going to stick to scores rather than individual songs and try to throw in some more metal examples. The bottom 3 are video game scores that have a lot to offer. I hope you all find something to love in here." Again, Kyle, I'm sorry this is too long. I appreciate it, but it's there's a description for each one, so I'm just going to go over what he lists. For soundtracks, Beyond the Black Rainbow and Mandy. Definitely familiar with Mandy. Feel like I know Beyond the Black Rainbow.
I don't think I've seen that one. Mandy was awesome.
Mandy was so awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, Mandy was great. He says that Mandy is by Johan Johansson and Stephen O'Malley. I guess I didn't know that. Wow. I didn't know that O'Malley was part of that. Of course, Koyaanisqatsi, Philip Glass, classic. Love that shit. Under the Skin. What a crazy movie.
Yeah, that was good too. Damn.
Yeah.
That was
Sinners.
The Scarlett Johansson one with her being a vampire kind of thing. Is that a spoiler?
No, not. I don't think that's. Well, maybe it is. I mean, it says here that came out.
A little while to figure it out, right? In the movie.
Yeah,
right.
It says here that came out 12 years ago. So yeah, whatever.
That was a good movie.
Sinners, of course. Sinners was awesome. Soundtrack was awesome.
Yeah.
And here's a video game called Bastion. I don't know about this. It's a bluegrass or swamp rock soundtrack.
Swamp rock. Wow.
Yeah. Hotline Miami, which is a video game. I don't know about that either.
Imagine that's a lot of synthwave shit. That would be good.
Yeah. Looks like it contains Carpenter Brute, Perturbator, and Ghost, the electronic Ghost, not the other Ghost.
Nice.
And then Norco, another video game. So, yeah, cool.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. We appreciate you for sure.
I think I was talking more about, that's interesting. I didn't even really comprehend what we were discussing, but I was talking more about soundtracks that contain songs, but there's a whole nother realm of great soundtracks that are just scores.
And when you talked about soundtracks, initially I was thinking of the opposite, not like a collection of songs necessarily, but like, something that's like scored, like a soundtrack, an OST. Yeah.
But nobody remembers Judgment Night score. They only remember the song.
like the incidental music.
Oh shit, that was so good.
Like in the chase scenes or whatever.
What if they combined like two different genre of score people, like they did with the metal and the hip hop? What if they combined like a a classical guy with like
Uh-huh.
a synth guy or whatever, and they mash that up instead of, what I'm saying here.
Yeah, yeah. Instead of like the Judgment Night thing. Yeah, 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 for sure.
That'd be
Um, awesome. Okay, so that's all the emails we have. Again, email us at hate.pod.music@gmail.com. But the real point of us being here today is to talk with our friend Sarah. Sarah, I want to talk to you a little bit about audio engineering. I want to talk to you about touring. I want to talk to you about travel. I want to talk to you about like your history, why you love music, why you hate music, all of the above. But first of all, I'd like to talk to you about like how did you get into the audio engineering side of music?
So I grew up in Queens, New York, and I went to music high school. Like you had to audition to get in and all that. I auditioned for acting, visual art, and music, and I got in for visual art and music. Not a good actress. Um, and so prior to then, I was taking piano classes for many, many years, and I was definitely always a musician in the family. Uh, my parents are Polish immigrants, so like I'm sure to like pretty much any immigrant family, like a kid who wants to do the arts, it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like a decade later, I kind of get it a little bit, but um so I got in for vocal performance. So believe it or not, like I'm actually also like a classically trained singer. Like I used to sing opera for many hours every day.
I
Wow.
don't think I
And
knew this about you.
Wow, that's
Wow.
yeah, I don't really talk about it that much because I'm still trying to reclaim my passion for that because, we talked about passion killers before. You know what kills your passion for singing? Getting graded on it and like
Yes.
having
Mm-hmm.
singing tests.
Oh man.
So
Yeah.
so eventually, and then it's like I've always been a metalhead. And I was surrounded by like musical theater kids. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. So I moved kind of to just being an instrumental major, and I really started to play guitar a lot. I had an awesome guitar teacher in that school. I don't know if I mentioned it. It's LaGuardia Arts High School.
Okay.
And his name is John Hamilton, and we're still friends. He was like one of the best teachers ever, and I had a lot of really amazing teachers at LaGuardia. And there was Gary Fogel, and Gary Fogel taught recording elective, and it kind of fell under the music major umbrella. So I was like, oh, I'll take this. This is really cool. And the high school had like a full recording studio and like with a really nice acoustically treated live room and a nice studio room. And that's kind of, I think that was, I can't remember if it was my junior or my senior year of high school, but my parents definitely were able to drill it into my head that you will not, in fact, be able to get out of high school and be a career musician out of high school, which true. I
Yeah.
wasn't. It didn't happen. So with that, I was like, okay, well, I can take up audio engineering because I love music. I can't imagine doing anything else. I don't have the attention span. I don't like having bosses. And I don't like normal jobs. So we're going to do audio engineering. And then I went to the University of New Haven for music and sound recording. But like 3/4 of the way into that degree, I realized that school was kind of a waste of time for it because you can't go to school and develop an ear in school. You just can't. You can practice a little bit in the recording studio. And a little while into my bachelor's, I was up in New Haven and I started working at shitty little clubs, like my pay was like $50 cash and a shift drink.
Right.
So there was this one place called Stella Blues. It's still, most of the places are still there, but Stella Blues was really something. I remember the the console was wired backwards. So like, you know how input 1 is usually on the left-hand side and like input 32, it was wired backwards. They said, do not touch it. And I was like, all right. And everything there was broken. And if it wasn't broken, it always broke on the day that I worked. And that's kind of, uh, it was a shit show every time, but it never pushed me away. And that's kind of where I cut my teeth. And I started going from place to place in New Haven. There was a place called Cafe 9, and I did sound over there for a little bit. And then I moved on to the Space Ballroom. And then this really cool independently owned venue in New Haven called the State House was open for a while. And they actually started booking metal shows there. Like I mixed Blood Incantation there. I mixed a bunch of really cool bands there. And the place got packed out. And for like a 300 capacity venue, it was really nice too. Bands would walk in, they'd be like, oh wow, this place is actually kind of cool. But then it closed. It was like a parking lot situation. Basically, it was I think either an adjacent property or maybe the actual lot that the venue was on was being bought by a real estate developer. I think that's what it was, and they had to close their doors. But before that happened, actually, COVID happened.
Oh, yeah.
So I started actually gaining some momentum when I wrapped up with school. I was mixing all the time, and I had my first couple of tour offers trickle in, and that's kind of like what I always wanted to do. And then everything shut down.
Yeah.
So for a while, so at that time, I worked at School of Rock as a keyboard, bass, guitar, and vocal instructor.
Nice.
I worked as an operations associate in a Guitar Center warehouse. I worked at a bunch of different clubs and venues as a sound gal, and then everything closed.
Mm.
And I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And so School of Rock, we were very quickly able to move over to a virtual music lesson, like a remote music lesson situation. But a lot of students pulled out just because it's not the same.
Nope.
It's
Yeah.
not the same as an in-person lesson, and I get that.
Yeah.
But it really murdered me financially because I was making just enough money to not be able to collect unemployment or like that extra bonus.
Shit.
So
Right.
instead of making like $700-800 a week, I was making like 150.
Mm.
Oh,
So
yeah.
COVID was hard.
Yeah.
But then I caught word of an AV company based in Watertown, Connecticut, and they were building a fully COVID compliant outdoor venue.
Okay. Nice. Everybody's
Wow.
separated 6 feet.
So they hired me. I had like a couple of basic hand tools and stuff like that. And on day one, I show up at this place and I'm like, my boss, he's like, this is how you terminate an RJ45 connector. And then he shows me and he's like, all right, you ready?
Shit.
So my first day on the job, I'm like terminating like hundreds of RJ45 cables. Um, and I did AV install work for a long time. And between school for audio, working with audio gear as a salesperson and as an operations associate at Guitar Center, and working in an AV shop where we consult, and then we install the system, and then we program the system, we build the racks from scratch. That's kind of what gave me the foundation of, just having a multidisciplinary approach to audio, as opposed to
Yeah.
I show up and I'm just here to push faders.
Push faders. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like
Yeah.
you're exposed to so much that, a lot of these venues you go to are probably have different gear, but you can recognize it all because you've been exposed to so much. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was the best part about working for the AV company, because at that point I had only touched like a X32 or M32, and for listeners who don't know what that is, that's kind of like the most basic prosumer audio console. But when I was able to walk into venues, churches, auditoriums, and kind of troubleshoot and figure out what the problems were, it gave me the opportunity to learn different systems and just know how everything works.
Did you think of yourself as somebody that thinks quickly on their feet already, or was this something that you're just like, oh, got overwhelmed by? Or was it hard to just like, every day get thrown into the fire, basically?
I think that with live sound, which is what I prefer as opposed to studio recording, it's something that maybe it comes naturally for some people. I'm actually not sure if it came naturally for me, or if it was a muscle that I developed.
Yeah, right.
But it atrophies when you don't use it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
every skill, like that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you're with a live recording versus the recording in a studio, is that transferable, or is it a whole nother set of skills that are necessary?
So I think the main difference between the two is that in studio recording, you have to have like this near perfect monitoring situation,
Right.
because what you're trying to do is make what you're capturing and what you're mixing translate on every playback device that will play back whatever you're doing. So whether it be a cell phone speaker or laptop speakers or a huge PA in a nightclub,
Yeah.
it has to work. Whereas when you are doing live sound, it's finite. What you're doing is you're taking the music that's happening in that moment and making it sound as appropriate as possible in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. I never really thought about it that way. I mean, there's obvious differences between the two, but the way you phrased that was perfect. That's really cool.
Certainly seems less overwhelming when you have one system to work with instead of thinking about all those different types of devices and somebody's vehicle that's going to sound totally different than everybody else's. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the times where I have gotten, behind the computer, whatever I'm doing, whatever situation I have for the studio setting, oh gosh, I wouldn't sleep. Like I'd just keep hacking away at what I'm doing. And then I bring it to the car and it wasn't right. And then I'd listen to it on cell phone speakers and then I heard something else. And then you do that it's final mix dot wave,
Yeah.
final mix one dot wave. uh, and then you undo all your changes and you're like, the first one was kind of the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to have all these mix downs that were like final underscore really final underscore second version, because I would do the same thing as, it's the car test would always fuck me up. And of course iPhones and so much of that stuff. And now I just try to farm that stuff out to other people because I don't have the patience for it or the knowledge to.
And you have to kind of know that you're never going to get it perfect, right? So you just kind of settle with something
Well,
that's.
you have to get it to a spot that you're comfortable with and know when it's fully cooked.
It's interesting thinking about what, like, and especially in a studio recording, what is a production that sounds good to me? It's very different than like what Jason would think is sounding good or anybody else. So it's totally subjective. It's really tricky.
So many things are so subjective like that. It brings up the whole like Naughton's Madrigal argument. Like, is that like a brilliant production or is it a piece of shit? It just depends on, what the artist intends, what you want from that artist, et cetera, et cetera.
And
I
that
mean, I
came
don't.
out of like necessity and low budget, right?
Well, that's. I think that myth has been busted.
Oh,
I think MythBusters did an episode on it. Yeah, no, I think it was well documented that the whole thing was not true, not accurate.
oh wow,
Yeah, they didn't take a 4-track into the forest and
sure.
power it with a generator and record Naughton's Madrigal. So
Still, but for whatever reason, it's got some character, and
for sure, and I think that's a really important part of the recording process. But like, does that make it a good production? I mean, technically no, but overall yes, I guess. I don't know. It's very subjective.
yeah, even seeing something live, there's been multiple times where I've been like, oh, that's kind of sounded like shit, and the guy next to me was like, that sounded fucking amazing. So I don't know.
Right.
Maybe as we get older too, we're losing some frequencies and shit too.
Yeah, maybe. I don't yeah, I don't know. So, Sarah, you mentioned getting tour offers. What was your first like actual like tour that you were working front of house where you're like, okay, I'm actually like doing this?
I think my first big tour that I was really excited about was when I went out with Frontline Assembly,
Nice.
Yep.
and Gary Newman and Ministry. That was a really awesome one. The first offer I ever got, I bungled it completely. Um, it was right after COVID. Oh no, I'm sorry. It wasn't right after COVID. It was the AV company that I worked for during the peak of COVID. They had to lay me off because all the equipment had like insane back orders, and they're like, we pulled all the wire, but we can't put anything in. And so we can't fulfill all of these contracts, so we can't afford to keep you on. So they laid me off, and I was looking at other stuff I could find. And I lived in Burlington, Connecticut, and the next town over, Bristol, Connecticut, was the ESPN headquarters. So I was like, hey, like maybe they need an A1. So I applied for that job and had a months-long interview process, during which a good friend, Max, who I just saw the other night, actually, he was mixing front of house for Tom Morello. He offered me a gig with the Psychedelic Furs doing front of house. And I
Oh,
was like,
cool.
holy shit, like I love the Psychedelic Furs. That would have been such a good tour. But I was thinking to myself, I was like maybe I should go do the safe thing. And biggest mistake ever. My situation with ESPN totally fell apart. So I got neither.
Yeah.
Oh no.
What ended up happening with that? Like after all the interviews and everything,
Oh,
they just hired somebody
I'm
else, or okay,
I'm not even gonna get into it.
okay,
I just
that's crazy.
fuck ESPN.
Yeah, right.
I'm very glad that I didn't end up having to do that anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after that, I did like a short tour with Steve Kimmock. I don't know. He was Jerry Garcia's favorite guitar player, or he is
Okay.
Jerry. And his band called Zero, they're like this amazing like West Coast psychedelia rock. Uh really good stuff. Unbelievable guitar player. Had uh Hammond B3 with a Leslie and a million guitars and a million
Wow.
amps packed into a little van that we dumped every day. It was a lot, but that was really special to me because I finally had some road experience. And then yeah, I did the tour with Frontline Assembly, and that was that was my first like big girl tour, and I have nothing but the fondest memories from that one. I mean, Frontline were awesome, and then Gary and his crew and his wife were so wonderful, and Ministry, I love them to death. I miss them all the time.
Pretty cool being able to see these kind of musical heroes and every night and see their sets.
And
Must be pretty
yeah, and work with them and get to
Yeah.
know them and travel with them. That's
amazing.
yeah, that's amazing. Speaking of which, you just got off a pretty big tour too.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that one?
Yeah, so for those of you listening, I was mixing front of house for Corrosion of Conformity, and we were opening for Alice Cooper and Judas fucking Priest. And it
That's
was the
crazy.
sickest. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do after that.
Yeah, that's
Like,
Yeah,
I have,
yeah.
Yeah.
I,
And am I correct in seeing that you got to mix Judas Priest for a sound check?
yes, on the
Yeah.
last day. So the day before the last day, their front of house engineer asked, he was like, "Hey, like, would you like to do that?" And I was like,
Hello.
"What?" Uh, so like I'm actually the luckiest sound engineer on planet Earth because I already work for my favorite band, which is Agalloch, and I got to mix the Metal Gods sound check. Like
Unfucking
who gets to do that?
Yeah. Wow.
That was
Yeah.
one of the happiest moments ever. I was so excited. I mean, so he had a Digico board, and what he ended up doing, since it was there was it's not like I had the chance to like really get into it. And I mean, it's the last day of tour. Basically, what he did was duplicate his show file. So I didn't overwrite his.
Yeah.
So I kind of like flew off of I punted off of his starting point.
How does it work?
Sure.
Does each band have their own gear, or is everybody on the tour sharing the same gear for every show?
So it's all over the place. On this tour in particular, especially like for shed tours, which it's like amphitheaters, arenas. Um, most it's everyone brings their own stuff pretty much. Usually the headliners, if it's like a co-headline, like Judas Priest and Alice Cooper had. Excuse me.
That's you.
They'll split the costs of certain things. Like I'm sure the lighting rig
Oh, right.
was kind of they split the costs on that. It was Judas Priest who brought the PA, and then for Corrosion of Conformity, basically if you're kind of an opener on that sort of tour, there will be some of like the budget allocated for a support package.
I see.
So through the tour, we were able to get a console. We were able to get a whole, XLRs, subsnakes, mic stands. I brought all my own mics. They hooked us up with a lighting person, and they ran lights on their rig for us. And it varies. Like when I was out with Frontline Assembly, that was like medium to large size clubs.
Yeah.
And for that, I was just using whatever the venue had for a console every night.
Is it common for somebody running front of house to have their own kind of setup that they're able to travel with if the band wants them to?
It depends. I was considering doing that. I was considering kind of maybe taking out a small business loan and creating kind of like an audio package that I could bring on tour, and I was strongly advised against it. They were like, look, just have the band pay for it, because this stuff, it depreciates and it gets
yeah,
imagine.
have the band pay for the rental and don't take on that burden. And I've actually recently had to talk someone out of doing that, because I don't want people to feel like the thing that they have to offer will no longer be desired in 5 to 10 years, and then be like, well, I maybe just finished paying off this like $30,000 loan, and now what?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Crazy. So seeing Rob Halford up close. Oh, that's my dream. I really want to meet that guy, but someday. Amazing.
Yeah, and
They
I
were
saw
all so lovely.
Oh, I bet.
and I
Jeez.
saw you like messing around with Alice Cooper's like stage props and stuff. Like I saw you in the guillotine and all that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they're Judas Priest and Alice Cooper's crew were some of the best guys that they were the best guys I've ever worked with. Everyone was so professional and so fun. Everyone was always in a good mood. I got a chance to, sit on the bike, and
Sweet.
even their
Mhm.
Priest stage manager, he threw on the jacket that Rob wears
Oh
for
man.
yeah, I think it's for Breaking the Law. It's an awesome jacket. I was like, I can't believe he just did that for me. That's so nice. And yeah, Cooper's crew, there were people on the tour who like ran on stage and like got killed during the show.
That's cool.
It was
That's so great.
awesome.
And what do you
Wow.
when you're on the road, do you like stay on a bus, or how does it work? Is there a second bus, or what goes on?
Yeah, so for COC, we all lived on the bus because we had a really small crew. It was band, TM, Reed, and myself. And for a little bit, we also had like an assistant TM. Her name was Sophia, and she hung out and helped us with a bunch of stuff as well.
How was
Did
the comfort level for you being on a bus like that with a bunch of dudes and just like I don't know, what's it like? I'm not sure.
So it's very comfortable, honestly. Like, especially I've been on buses that look like fucking like frat houses. It's like you walk in, there's pizza boxes and handles of Fireball everywhere, and just like dust bunnies in the corner. But we thankfully, I have always been on buses that are very clean, and I'm kind of like a pack rat with my bunk. I kind of like stuff a bunch of shit in there, and I like to nestle. But when I'm on the bunk, when I'm in the bunk and it's sleep time, I'm out. Like I am a rare breed of people that love sleeping in the bunk.
I do
It's
too. I do the same thing. I get my stuff around me. I get my phone plugged in. I like lay down, and there's something about it. And like sometimes after tour, I get so used to it that I'll like pretend I'm in the bunk in my own bed, and I'll like lay a certain way, and I'll be like all cozy. And yeah, I love it.
I've never tried that, because
So,
I have a lot of issues falling asleep when I'm home,
Oh, weird.
because my mind races.
Oh, I see.
Like when you're home, there's like a million things to do at home. When you're on
yeah,
tour,
You're
you
busy.
yep,
wake up,
Yep.
your house brings you to work.
Yeah, exactly.
yep, yeah. I love that feeling. I love just having one thing to do. Like the only thing that you can do in your life is wake up, take care of yourself, play a show, go to bed.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't it amazing? It's like
it's
it's so nice when it's so simple.
yeah. That's why it's so nice, like as a touring musician, to get to a point where you have a crew of people that are helping you out. Like I don't have to drive. I don't have to like set up my stuff. I
Yeah.
don't have to sell merch. I don't have to, book the show. All that. my job is to take care of myself and be safe and happy and put on a good show, and that's it. And
That's cool.
it's a blessed experience. And it's hard to revert. On our Emperor shows that we did with you, we had to revert a little bit, and it was a little difficult at times. But I mean, still a blessed existence. We played the Hollywood fucking Palladium, and the Warfield. But yeah, still second fiddle to the Almighty Emperor for sure.
Yeah, it was worth it, I think, for you guys to play those shows for sure.
Oh man, I mean, those were amazing. Like I absolutely loved playing those shows. Getting to play the Hollywood Palladium was insane.
Yeah.
The crowds were great. Our reception was great. I wasn't, from where I was, I couldn't really hear it, but everybody said that the mix was insane. So
yeah, what's the strategy like for setting up for Sarah, setting up for a big show in an arena versus a club? There must be, a lot of things you have to think about that are different.
I actually, it's the opposite. I'm like, because if I think about it being, a show with 20,000 people in attendance, when I fixate on that, I'm fixating on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, to go back to the analogy and like boiling down what live sound is, you have audio, you have these inputs on stage, and your only job is to just make it sound right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then when you boil it down to that, it's actually not that difficult of a task, especially, with Agalloch. It's like, just push the faders up because
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding though, but I just make you guys louder because you already have your tones dialed in. There's no, sometimes I have to fight with people about, even like how they tune their toms or, a guitar pickup that's screaming.
Yeah.
And it sucks because sometimes it also depends on the space. Like there's times where I'm on tour where someone's guitar is like killing me as opposed to other days where it's like, I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to EQ. I don't have to do anything on the graphic EQ for the mains. I just push the faders up.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, for Agalloch, we always try to get it, right at the source. Like we try to use good equipment. We try to use, everything good at the source. So it could be just as easy as you pushing faders up, making us louder. But I think that, I think that a lot of people strive for that too. It's just, I feel like maybe we've been doing this a while too. So,
but I can see the lure of technology and wanting to kind of simplify your setup by using more kind of preamps or whatever people use on stage. I'm not sure, but there's a lot more technology they could use, which could complicate Sarah's job because there's so much more to, if you're just using the source of your Marshall and a couple pedals, maybe it's easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Sarah, if you were to say like, let's talk about highlights of your career so far. I'm not fishing for compliments with Agalloch or anything, but just like things that have made you be like holy shit, like this is amazing. You mentioned Judas Priest already, but like what kind of moments are there for you? There must be moments where you're sitting behind the board and you're just like,
yeah,
how do I get to live this life?
So it comes in tiers, like TIERS.
NTEARS. Yeah.
The TEARS come after, but I remember back when I had just started, or not just started, but when I was still somewhat green, the first big show that I did was the Cro-Mags and the Exploited.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, and that was at the Webster Underground in Hartford, Connecticut. And it's still a small room, but it was bands that meant something to me and it sounded great and it was a really fun show. And then shortly after that, I got to mix Blood Incantation when they came
Yeah.
through to Connecticut at that State House venue that no longer exists. And I was so excited to mix that show because I fucking love Blood Incantation. I mean, on my 21st birthday, I flew alone to Canada to see them. Like,
Nice.
and that show meant everything to me at the time because it was finally, because I I had mixed acts that are like far more like mainstream and bigger, and it kind of meant nothing to me because unfortunately, like it just has to be something that I like and it has to be
Yeah.
something that I care about, and I'm difficult like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but when I finally got to mix Blood Incantation, I even remember going there like a few nights beforehand or the night before, and I even asked the venue owner if I could go in and just have a band come in because I'd never mixed a death metal band in that room before. So I had Ryan and our Ryan, my boyfriend, and our friends Upton and Liam, I had them come and just do a mock-up death metal show. Like they brought amps and drums and
Oh, that's
everything.
awesome.
It's cool. You can
And I was like, just because, like, in preparation for it, because it meant so much to me for that show to sound good. So I had my friends bring amps and drums in, and we made some noise for a few hours. And that was like when I really started to really pay attention to especially like my drum mixing because death metal drums live, that stuff can like fall apart so
Yeah.
easily depending on
Mhm.
the venue.
Yep.
So I remember finally being able to do that, and that was a lot of bands. There's like 4 or 5 bands with everyone brought their own backlines, like fucking like
Oh man.
mountains of cabs everywhere. But we got through it, and that was like one of those shows where it's like you're doing monitors from front of house, you have no stagehands, you have no stage manager, it's just you.
Wow.
And it went pretty well. I think the only thing that went wrong was one of the bands, their drummer, he kept saying he couldn't hear anything, and I like completely maxed out his send. Turns out that the power cable had just gotten unplugged, and we didn't find out
Oh,
till after the set. So I felt
damn.
so bad about that, but
Yeah. That
Yeah.
happens. What is the
Oh,
how does the reality of this differ from like what you thought it was going to be or
that's exactly what I wrote down on my questions. You took my question.
oh, sorry, bro.
Ah.
that is a loaded question.
Okay.
That is a loaded question. And I was just talking about it recently. I think, Jason, you may have seen my Facebook post about
I
it.
did.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Uh-huh.
so when I'm home from tour, I am fortunate enough to have this really awesome and really gratifying job working with invasive plants. I work with a team of land stewards in Connecticut,
Hmm.
and we do invasive species management. And a lot of it ends up being, or not a lot of it, it's mechanical removal of very difficult to remove plants.
Wow.
And there are times where I'm like fucking swinging a goddamn pickaxe all day. Like, what have I done? It's hard work. I still love it, and I wouldn't trade it for like a comfy office job just because of the way my brain works. Um, but it's tough. I think the number one thing that I noticed is that there's like maybe 2% of the gigs that are available to touring techs, session musicians. I'd maybe even like 1% of them are gigs where you're on a salary and you have benefits.
Yeah, right.
And
Does that
it's
appeal
something.
to you, like a Cirque du Soleil, or I don't know, there'd be something where they do sound,
Oh,
you know?
no, it's like even bands like Judas Priest's crew, like those guys, they're taken care of when they're not on tour.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. And there's a very small amount of gigs like that where you become so close with the crew and you do so well, and the talent generates so much profit that they're able to do that for their crew.
yeah,
And I think that, so that's the really long way of saying I'm realizing that maybe quality of life is not what I expected it to be, because when I'm home from tour, I have to work extremely, extremely hard to keep the lights on.
I see. Yeah,
I mean, even with like, because I have good gigs.
yeah,
I have I have like really good gigs that, people envy me. And rightfully so. I feel very lucky to have worked with all the musicians that I've worked with. But
yeah. How
it,
sustainable is it? Like, how long can you, yeah, keep pushing to, pay the bills? Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. So are you just kind of in a holding pattern? Are you thinking about pivoting or
Back to ESPN? No. Uh, like,
So
what
there's
options are there? Yeah,
so right now I have a perfect situation because I love my job, the one that I have when I'm home. I love my crew. I love my boss, who's been so gracious with letting me go out and be a rock star for a couple of weeks and then just come back.
nice.
So I haven't figured it out yet, honestly.
yeah,
I'm figuring it
yeah.
out.
Right.
But for right now, that's really good. And since I have about 2-ish weeks with COC in South America, and then I'm going back out again. And so that's in January. And then in February, I'm going out again with Forbidden Violence and Venom Inc.
Oh,
Nice.
so
Uh,
so you are doing the forbidden thing.
I think so. Yeah, it was
Awesome.
verbally, it still needs to
Yeah,
be discussed, but everyone seems on board and excited about that. And so am I.
That's great. That's great.
that's cool.
But other than that, you know, we the land stewardship job, we worked well into the winter last year, so it looks like we're going to be able to do that again this year. And uh I'm just focusing on my music for a change.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, what
that's
do you play,
important.
or what's your band, or
So it's it's getting it's getting worked out, but I don't have a band, it's just me right now. Uh Playing guitar and kind of working stuff out with between like writing the melodies on the piano and then translating them uh to guitar, and then kind of figuring out arrangements and writing lyrics, kind of trying to do the whole thing, like maybe like literally like the bedroom like black metal stuff that I used to make fun of all the time. It might end
Hmm.
up being me.
nice? Love that. That's so cool. It's nice to, coming from, Jason and I both do our individual things, but it's kind of nice to have all the control, and not have to worry.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it definitely can be. You don't have to deal with people like John and Don and Hunter,
Yeah.
fuckers.
Nice.
So, Sarah, without naming names, without throwing anyone under the bus, is there a worst moment you've had as front of house on tour?
Yes. Okay. So one thing immediately comes to mind. So I was out with Frontline Assembly, and we finished the tour, but then they had a couple of festival one-offs, and some Mexico shows. So without naming names, there's a specific audio provider for the stage of the festival that we were working, who I was working with to get a show file over to them so they could load it onto the console. So for the listeners who aren't sure what that is, digital mixing console, which is primarily what's used at festivals, just because anyone can remotely program up a show file and send the file in.
Oh, that's
It's literally like typing up a document, right? You
Hmm.
type up a document, you save it, and then you email it to the person who needs to see the document and load it there. So it's literally the same thing. You
That's
download the offline editor for the console, you make your show file, and then you send it in and hope to God that it's loaded on the console when you get there. So this was for Sick New World in Vegas.
Mhm.
And I was pretty excited about it. Like Lords of Acid played right before us. That was pretty crazy. And so what ended up happening was, of course, I have a MacBook, and the console that they had a offline editor that was only usable on Windows machines. So I went to Walmart, bought a fucking $200 laptop so I could do this. Spend a day programming the show file. Then I send it over to them. I'm like, here it is. Let me know if it doesn't work, because sometimes like files get corrupted, or sometimes it's a firmware thing where you have to update a file or convert it in a converter software. So I didn't hear anything back, so I was like, cool. I need to pack and like get ready to go to Las Vegas and Mexico. So I have a 17-hour travel day to Vegas.
Mm.
Go to sleep, and then actually my friend Kian made me go to some shitty bar there when I got there. Anyways, the next day is festival day. We're in the van going to the festival. While we're in the van going to the festival, I get an email from one of their techs, day of, saying, "Hey, your file won't load."
Oh man.
And I get all pissed off. I'm like, "What? Well, like, how great of you to tell me that day of, when I sent this in weeks ago so you could figure it out." So I'm like, okay, guys, well, like, we have time. So I'm just going to go to the console. I'm going to go to front of house and I'll build a show file there. So I get to front of house, I introduce myself, and for that specific festival, they had a rotating stage on our stage. So while one band is playing on the crowd-facing side, on the other side, the other band is setting up.
Jesus.
So to streamline that process at front of house, they have console A and console B. So if band A is playing, the engineer is mixing on console A. And then band B is setting up backstage, and then the console turns, then the systems engineer hands over the PA to console B. So I was able to program up on the other console because someone was on the other one mixing. So again, I like spend like 45 minutes building a new show file and get it to a place where I want it to be. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I think I'm good. They're like, yep, you're good. Um, so I save my file, walk off, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Chuckle and yep. So I go backstage, I get mics set up. Everyone on the backstage end of it was great. They had my input list ahead of time. They were like, no changes to the input list. I was like, fuck no, no changes to the input list. So everything was square on that side. Band set up. They're kind of like line checked, sound checked, whatever. I go back to front of house. It's like 5 minutes to stage turn. I load my show file. and find that a different engineer had opened it, reprogrammed it completely, and overwrote it as as his show file. So I turned to the front of house tech, because these festivals, they appoint like a front of house tech that's supposed to hold the guest engineer's hand and help them do everything. So I'm like, dude, is this not my file? And he looked over and he was like, did I fuck that up? And I was like,
Oh.
Oh my
oh my God, you must literally, like, thousands and thousands and thousands of people in the crowd. The stage turns.
Oh no.
The band has no fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah.
I am so mad. I want to murder this guy. So what ends up happening? I'm trying to simultaneously mix and reverse engineer this guy's entire show file while the band is playing. So Frontline Assembly, thankfully, they had like, I think it was like 8 tracks of backing tracks, like programmed drums, like programmed synth, programmed like backing vocal stuff. So I focused on getting that right first. So like and then I got the vocal in and everything else. And meanwhile, their systems engineer, he's like, excuse me, you're like over the dB limit. I'm like, get the fuck away from me before I break your fucking neck. Like, do you see what I have to do right now? That was the most stressful hour ever. That was like one of the most, like, and of course this person's show file was a mess. It was like it was like a Russian doll, like this nesting dolls where you like open and then you find like 40 fucking surprises in there. So that's what that was.
Damn.
And,
God, sounds so stressful.
That's terrible.
yeah, that's why I say, like, you think you could hurt my feelings? Like, I went through that. I don't care about anything.
Did it work out? I mean, did the band notice or that you were struggling like that, or
no? No. I was in shambles afterwards. I drank like 3/4 of a bottle of Jim Beam or something. I never do that. I do not ever binge drink. That's so not me. But I got hammered and I was crying. I was like, it was so bad. And everyone was like, dude, it was great. But I was like, no, it wasn't. Like, I know when it's not good. You don't have to placate me.
Oh man, that's terrible when something that's out of your control and something that you've tried so hard to alleviate, and it's just like somebody else's fuck up or the universe's fuck up, and it affects you so greatly like that. That's
right. And as a sound engineer, you don't get a chance to tell everyone what happened.
Yeah,
You don't get to tell the crowd like, oh, sorry, like you didn't hear the snare top mic because fucking fuckwad over here overwrote my show file.
Yeah.
I'm so activated right now. Like, I feel my pulse, like it went up. Like,
where's the Jim Beam? Grab it.
Yeah, man, that is, oh, that's crazy. Well, we've worked together 5 or 6 times now, I think. And we had a small issue at MDF, but nothing like that. But even then you were like, well, all of our blood is boiling after that one. But like from the musician's point of view, like I had no idea what was going on. I was like, and it was just somebody just not doing their job.
Yeah.
But man, that was small potatoes compared to what you're talking about.
Yeah, no shit.
Even that was frustrating and stressful.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it sucks because there's a lot of people who would love to have those jobs, who would actually go above and beyond to like in MDF in particular, like without naming names and without, throwing anyone under the bus, there was a special someone who was like, oh, instead of doing my job, I'm gonna stare at my fucking phone.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
wasn't an issue with just Agalloch. That was
No.
an issue with a bunch of bands.
Yeah.
And, you know, it really pisses me off because I've had to work so hard to do cool shit. And then you see people who have the opportunity to people who are doing the cool thing that you wish you were doing,
Yeah.
who are like jerking off backstage or in monitor world, it's like,
Yeah.
that's just so disrespectful because being an audio engineer is like a great honor. You get to facilitate the musicians' message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to facilitate music.
Mhm.
That's really cool. Like, why would you not take that seriously?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and like in this position, it because this guy wasn't paying attention to us, it greatly affected our performance. It greatly affected the sound that people were hearing. It affected our confidence. It affected the way that we played because we can't hear anything because he's not paying attention to what we need. And so you're affecting so many people. And Sarah, you and I talked about this before, but it's like everybody involved is in a blessed situation. And it just takes one person just staring at their phone and it fucks up the mojo for the entire thing. And yeah, that was, yeah. A certain someone also picked him up by the neck and almost choked him out after their show. So
Nice. Good.
I love that certain someone.
yeah.
Good
Yeah.
dude.
Nice.
Might see him in February.
You might. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Was that opportunity facilitated between the MDF and the Warfield shows?
No, that was very recent actually. They had like dropped the show announcement, I think, while I was still on tour with COC and Priest and Cooper.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh hey, I've mixed Venom Inc. and I love Venom Inc. And I haven't mixed Forbidden, but I love Forbidden, and those guys are really cool, and they've come to a lot of shows that I've mixed, and we seem to get along. And then Violence is managed by the same manager as COC. So I was like,
oh, okay.
I know all three of these bands, and the promoter in South America only allotted for one crew. Hey, I know exactly what I could offer all three of these bands.
Oh, damn. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're going back
might-
to South America. That's awesome.
Yeah, in January for about 2 weeks with COC, and then in February, hopefully with those guys.
Nice. Wow. That's a little bit more longer than going down with Agalloch for like 3 days.
Yeah. Maybe you'll have some time to do some tourist stuff too, maybe.
Yeah.
Those shows were so awesome. I wanna like circle back to a question that you asked me earlier, because I think the most special and unforgettable and most awesome high point in my whole career was what like the opening moment of the Agalloch show at the Palladium in Hollywood. It was I actually
okay.
Ryan took a video. He was standing with me at front of house, and he took a video of like Agalloch opening with limbs. And sometimes I just watch that video. I just sit there on my phone and I'm like,
amazing.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the reason that we love working with you is because you love Agalloch so much and you're so good at what you do, obviously. We've worked with you, I think, less than 10 times at this point, but, we all agree we consider you the fifth member of Agalloch at this point. You make us so much better than we are. And it's the first time we've ever worked with somebody that every single show, people afterwards come up and like, that was the best mix I've ever heard in my life.
Nice.
Like across the board, people come up to me after shows and they're just like, who is that woman? She is fucking incredible. And so, yeah, we feel so lucky to have you as a part of Agalloch. So, yeah, thank you for you go above and beyond every single time.
You're a fucking pro.
It's incredible. Yeah. So thank you.
That means everything to me. And thank you too. And thanks for being the person who got me on board. It's been my life's greatest joy and achievement, honestly. Like
what was your exposure to Agalloch and when you were a kid, or how did you figure that out?
Oh, this is a great story. So I was, I think, a junior in high school, and I was going to a lot of shows at the time. I was very spoiled. I grew up in Queens, so we had every cool venue in New York City where everyone always played. And I actually had tickets for a different show that night. But my photographer friend, Ken Pierce, he he sometimes would reach out to me and be like, hey, like, I have an extra ticket for this show. You want it? Like, never asked for anything in return. Was just being super nice and super awesome and giving a young metal nerd some free tickets. So he was like, hey, you want to go to this show tonight? And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to bail on this other show. I have no clue who these bands are, but I'm just going to go and check it out. And it was Agalloch and Jexthoth. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
At Irving Plaza.
Oh yeah, that was a great show.
That was and from that point on, I was like, wow, that was the best thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
Wow.
And from that point on, I became a diehard Agalloch fan, and almost immediately they broke up.
Yeah.
It's right around that time.
Well, we were like, Sarah's getting way too into this. We gotta end this band. This is too much.
So you were probably one of those fans that thought they would never see them again, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. And for many years, I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say that the discography would be in a constant rotation weekly for a decade, pretty much. And then Jason and I met each other in New Hampshire. He was there. It was this November 3 played, so I guess I would call it a neo-folk show. It was incredible, like a lot of really good musicians. And Jason also he did the Moonbladder thing and also did a surprise rendition of In the Shadow of Our Pale Companion with Nathaniel Larachat.
Yeah.
And that was so beautiful and so amazing. And even watching that, I was like, oh my God, like I can finally see a Agalloch song after so long. And even with acoustic guitar and bass, it was the most beautiful thing I had seen. And that was like enough for me, and Jason and we connected on Facebook, and at that point he totally knew I was an Agalloch super fan, but he couldn't tell me the good news.
Well, it was pretty tentative for a long time, and I couldn't. I mean, I told only a couple people really because it was such a big event, and but yeah, I think Sarah, you were the first person I heard from or that I saw react when we announced the show in Germany.
I freaked out at that time. I was doing like AV installs for billionaires, like, and millionaires in Greenwich, and I was fucking working on this stupid rack in Greenwich. I was just like this mess of cables because this crazy dude I work with would just undo all of my cable management and just make it crazy, and I was so pissed. And I just looked at my phone and I saw that, and I just started like actually like bawling my eyes out. I was so happy. And I called my boyfriend Ryan. I was like, dude, we have to go. And immediately bought tickets to see them in Germany, planned a whole trip around it, finishing with Prophecy Fest at the end. And and I briefly had met the rest of them after the show, but again, another one of those moments where that curtain drops and it's like, that is the craziest, most electrifying, like soul lifting, beautiful thing I've ever seen. It was really something, and I can't believe I get to work with you guys. It's still unbelievable to me. So thanks again.
Well, we deeply love and appreciate you for sure. That curtain drop at Prophecy Fest, I have a video that somebody uploaded to Instagram afterwards, and I put it on the Agalloch Instagram and on my Instagram. And John and I were talking about this, I think when we were in South America, or no, at the Rev Hall show, we were talking about it. And that curtain drop, that moment is the greatest moment of our career. Like that the energy in that place, the fact that we were back as a band, the fact that we'd repaired these friendships, the fact that we'd overcome all of this, and the intro with limbs and the curtain dropping, it's like I still get chills watching that video, and the response was so great, and there's so much love in that room. It was
fucking awesome.
It was absolutely incredible. So
I had never experienced anything like it.
Yeah, well, it was definitely special, and I felt like that when we were in Sao Paulo too, like that Sao Paulo show. Like I have videos of that from the audience perspective where you can't hear us, you just hear people screaming, and it's like almost unhinged at points. Like there's this one video I saw where we're just on the intro of Limbs, but people are screaming like they're being attacked or something. It's like so much,
that show was awesome.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, they're all great for one reason or another. I feel like, I don't feel like we really have any bad shows necessarily anymore. But yeah, again, thank you so much for being a part of Agalloch and helping us sound so much better. And you're an amazing person and an amazing engineer. And so thank you so much.
Thank you. And my pleasure, honestly. Like, you guys are the best. You're the best.
Yay, thank you.
It's official.
It's official, yeah. So Agalloch doesn't have anything announced yet, but you're probably going to see Sarah with us in the future.
I hope so.
Yep. I think some things are in the works that'll happen for sure. Sarah, do you have anything coming up that you're excited about? Music, life, anything that any shows you're going to see, movies, anything like that?
Oh my God, tomorrow? I don't get to do shit.
Nice.
I feel like I haven't had ever since I got back from tour, like every weekend has just been, so on like weekdays I've been doing the environmental work, and then weekends has just been like catching up on other stuff. So
nice.
After the laptop closes after this, literally doing fuck all for the next few days, and I'm really, really excited about that.
That's great.
Let's see.
You work hard, dude. You work fucking hard.
Yeah.
Just watching you, any show that I've seen you at, it's like you're constantly putting out fires and working, and you've got your
buzzing around, yelling at people.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I hope you appreciate and have a good break for sure.
I'm so excited.
I keep forgetting it's Thanksgiving tomorrow.
I've got a trivia question for that.
For Thanksgiving?
Yeah,
all right.
It's Turkey Day.
Let's do it.
Okay, so although they're not the first international act to play in Turkey, that was a band called Grinder in 1990 from Germany. In June 1993, this was the first major metal act to play in Istanbul, selling out 136,000 people. Who was it?
93?
Yeah.
I want to say Metallica, but
that's what I was going to say.
Yep, it's Metallica.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, bonus question. Name any Turkish metal band.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
You're
tough. Putting me on the spot here.
I couldn't even really
Fuck.
figure that out. Like online, there's a bunch, obviously, but they're nothing that made it outside Turkey.
I'm
Hmm.
stumped.
Hmm.
Oh, I got it. Angel Witch. Don't look it up. Don't think about it. It's fine. Angel Witch. They're Turkish. Promise.
There was a Turkish pentagram. They're like the biggest band.
Oh, really?
Yeah, different pentagram.
I I I can't think of a single
Yeah,
Turkish metal band.
it's crazy.
Do you have one?
No, well, yeah, that band Pentagram. It's the only one I could
Yeah,
find, but I
yeah.
don't even know what they sound like.
Huh. That's always so interesting because my entire life, geography has really centered around metal bands from a certain area. And so it's like, but it's also funny, can like not being able to name a band from Turkey seems pretty normal. Like that seems reasonable. But like Alaska,
Yeah,
name a, name a, name an extreme metal band from Alaska.
36
Extreme
Crazy
metal.
Fists. Remember those
No,
guys?
that's what I'm gonna, yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Like it's got to be like an extreme metal
What is
band.
that shit? Like new metal or something? Or what is
I don't know, but
you know?
fuck, like right before Ione was born, Aaron and I we were house shopping, and we went to this place over by right at the base of Mount Tabor, and we go in the basement. And there's a full recording studio in this house, and I was like, Aaron, we need this house. And they had a huge 36 Crazy Fist. What was it? What are they called?
36 Crazy Fists. Yeah.
Yeah, 36 Crazy Fist, like banner in the bottom of the like on the wall in the
Oh.
studio. It turns out it was their studio. It
Yeah,
was
they
their
moved to
house.
Portland to like
Yeah,
big or whatever. But
yeah. I don't think I've ever heard them.
I can't think of another Alaska band offhand. Or
No,
Hawaii.
or Hawaii.
Yeah.
Kelly from Atheist recently played in Hawaii
Yeah.
and told me that there are some pretty killer like local like death metal bands that opened up
Cool.
for him. But
That's awesome.
yeah, they don't make it across. Do they call it the pond when you go that way?
I don't
Across the
think so.
pond? No,
To
it's like
the mainland. They call it the mainland, right?
across the puddle or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, that's a good one. Yeah, I don't.
That was a really good one.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, yay for Nick.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Yay.
Nick, what do you have coming up?
Shit. 2 shows in December.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. December 12th and big comedy show on December 13th. I'm going to be a
Oh.
videographer for that, I believe.
Actually, I think
Sarah
Sarah
Jason's going to stand up for a 10-minute set. Can you believe this?
I think Sarah might be the first person I told about it, actually, because I decided to pull the trigger when we were in Sao Paulo. And I texted Azoth, I texted Balaam and Zach, and I was like, book me the 13th. And I was like, Sarah, I did something really weird. I'm going to do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
So yeah, December 13th,
Yep.
debut stand-up. I've got like half of my, what do you call it? My set, my
Your
routine,
bits?
whatever. My bits. Yep. It's based on real life. It's all real stories, all true stories. Might be slightly embellished, but not too crazy.
Okay.
But I'm kind of going for like that type of angle, you know, like funny life things, and you know.
Good.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. When I read it to myself, I laugh really hard. So you
Do
know
you
it's
have
got
any
to be
bits
good.
about being a musician?
I don't. I thought about doing that angle, but I didn't. So far I'm talking about driving mostly.
Yeah, you're a weird driver for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any musician jokes, Sarah?
Oh, you gotta.
Musician jokes. Okay, I have one. How do you know a soprano's at the door?
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
She can't find the key and never knows when to come in.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's a deep
Wow.
musician joke. That's perfect.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a gnarly diss at sopranos, but if you've ever sang in like a 4-part choir, you know it's true.
I never have, but I believe you. Jesus. That's awesome.
Yeah. Nick, I think you need to join like a barbershop quartet or
I
something.
would love to, dude. I fucking
Would you?
love that. Oh, hell yeah. I want
Yeah.
to be in like, I could do the bass. I could like be Bowser, be really low. I love that.
In high school, there was this kid in my art class. I can't remember his name, but I wore my Napalm Death shirt a lot in high school, and this kid would always talk about it. And so we formed an a cappella group, just the two of us, during art class, and we called it Carnival Muffin, I'm pretty sure. And we wrote one song only, and I'm going to sing it for you real quick,
Okay.
if I can remember how it goes.
Yeah.
It goes, napalm death, 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 napalm death, 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 napalm death, death,
It's like
death,
Book of Love.
napalm death,
Yeah.
death, death.
Book of Love.
Yeah. And I think that's it.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, and then he would come in with, oh that napalm death. It's great. Yeah.
There you go. Put that in your comedy routine, dude.
I don't know if it's good enough.
Nah.
And it's not about driving, you know. Yeah. I have that comedy show coming up. I have no Moonbladder coming up. There will be some Agalloch action in the next year or so. As far as other music goes, we are finally wrapping up the recording for the Sculptured record that's been in the works for 6 years or so.
Yeah, awesome.
I am finally wrapping up the recording for the new Moonbladder LP, which is really close to being done. I have a new Snares of Sixes EP that's pretty much done. I just got to mix it. I have a unannounced death metal project that is almost done as well that I'm really happy with.
It rips.
Thank you. I had to send a clip to you, Sarah, and you, Nick, and a couple other people because I was very, very happy with how it turned out. Surprisingly happy with how it turned out, and I had to show it off a little bit. But I'm really excited about that. And then I'm doing a trip hop record after that I can't talk too much about.
Shut up, dude. What the fuck you talking about?
I just told you I can't talk about it.
Whoa, man, that's awesome.
Yeah,
so,
well,
Neon Wizard shit. We could do a show together.
Not like like Tricky, like Massive Attack,
a lot of Autechre kind of beats, or
no, like Portishead.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. It's a record, Nick. You know about this. You just don't know about the angle that it's taken. But it started kind of as this like ambient kind of like music you'd listen to while you're doing yoga, and it's kind of morphed into like a trip hoppy type of like mid '90s Tricky type vibe. So
okay.
Anyway, I'm excited. Oh, and I'm working on a Funeral Doom record too. I just found out. Yeah, I just found out yesterday. So
nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Yep.
Sarah, again, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a blast.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been great. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, enjoy relaxing.
Yeah, it's been great chatting. I mean, I was looking forward to this for many reasons. The biggest two reasons is just being able to talk to you guys because we're on opposite sides of the country, and
yes, we are.
Still would love to change that. I'd still love to be neighbors. And that might be a thing that happens in the next, it was looking like it would be a lot sooner, but maybe I'll be a West Coast buddy sooner rather than later. But I digress. It was so great seeing both of you. Thanks for having me on your podcast. This has been really fun.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Sarah.
Bye.
All right. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye, guys.